Hello, everyone. I'm Yulo from the Tsinghua University. Today, step is about with synthesis. It is about generating visualization based on the SQL queries. And the second step is about the NL query synthesis. Hello, everyone. I'm Yulo from the Tsinghua University. Today, I will present our work, synthesizing natural language to visualization, NL to with benchmarks from NL to SQL benchmarks. Let's begin with the motivation. We can look back at the evolution of the visualization interface. Suppose we have a dataset about a co-writing dataset from the United States. And suppose the user want to create a bar chart showing the top 5 states with most confirmed cases. A long time ago, the user may need to write the computer graphics code to visualize data. And thanks to the declarative visualization language, the user can use the D3 or Vega lines, only use a few lines of code to visualize data. Or the user can choose the GUI-based visualization tools such as Tableau and Power BI, or use the recommendation tools such as the SQL queries based on the synthesized visualization. NV Bench overview. Next, we will post some examples from our benchmark. And we open source our code and dataset in the below link. Thank you for your listening, and questions are welcome. We propose to piggyback the NL to SQL benchmarks, such that let's we give the solution overview. We propose NL to SQL to NL to with synthesizer. It consists of two steps. The first step is about with synthesis. It is about generating visualization based on the SQL queries. And the second step is about the NL query synthesis. It is about editing the NL queries of the SQL queries based on the synthesized visualization. NV Bench overview. Next, we will post some examples from our benchmark. And we open source our code and dataset in the below link. Thank you for your listening, and questions are welcome.
example, I can speak here. 我们在这里说的时候，应该不会有杂音，对吧 ？OK， 我不影响，很好。Authors, Dr. Shen and Dr. Luo, please test your microphones.
Hello,
Dr. Luo,
hello.
can you hear me?
Yes.
Dear Dr. Luo, please test your microphone. Dr. Luo, can you hear me? Dr. Luo, can you hear me? 老师怎么听见？老师，您麦克风听不到。
我没说话。
老师，我们等下是这样的，就是先介绍 Hua 的一个简单的使用，然后我们把 Zoom 的 session 过2个讲者，然后最后是 Q&A， 您看行吗？
行。谁介绍 Hua？来了。
Dr. 韩月。
Hi device. Hi device. Can you hear me?
Hi, Guilian, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Okay.
I can hear you. So let us wait throughout a few seconds.
Okay. I cannot share my video.
Hi, everyone.
Okay.
Hi, Strato.
Hi, Stratos. So first, I will like ask my student to introduce Hua. So we have enabled your account on Hua. So I think you can browse Hua either by website or by app. Just use your email.
Okay.
So first, let me ask my student to share how to use Hua. So Dr. Han Yue, can you start to share your screen about Hua?
Okay, can you hear me?
I think we can hear you. There might be some back loop there.
Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
I think there is some feedback.
When you log in, first let's log in the web app. You can log our events from this link. You will see the conference information on the homepage. And the sponsors are also displayed here. Let's switch to attendees page. You can view other attendees profile or see what session he will speaking at. Or you can also social with others at the attendees page. Then let's switch to community page. You can see the topics created by organizers or others. For example, you can ask about Xi'an's food in this topic. Then now let's see the agenda. You can see sessions in the agendas page. Suppose today is 22nd June. Let's switch to this day, and you can filter sessions by this text. You can see what sessions you want to attend. For example, you can see only the first round of the sessions. So let's also you can add these sessions to your agenda.
Please
so you can view the sessions you are interested in. Let's get into session 1, graph data management. You can see the session title here, the daytime of the session, the time of the session, and the location of the session. You can see the speakers here, and in the description, you can see the live stream link here and the paper list. The paper presentation video is also displayed here. You can click and to see the presentation video. At the right side, there you can ask a question about the session or about the presentations of speakers. So you can join the meeting in Hua or outer in the Zoom app. Let's join the meeting in the Hua and begin a session.
That looks like an infinite loop somewhere. That looks like an infinite loop somewhere.
Yong and Yue, what are you doing?
I'm here. Sorry, I have missed some of your words.
Right now, we only see the front page with the logo of SIGMOD. We don't see anything in Hua.
We will share the Hua again, so please repeat your question. Sorry.
So we do not see Hua right now. Okay.
Here is the Hua web page. So do you have any question about this this page? This is in a session. The screen, the center is the Zoom.
But there are some problems.
I think maybe they're setting that portion of the screen, and so it loops.
The share of the screen is recursive, so it will show like this. There is no error. Sorry. So there is any question about Hua?
So can you show us more? So I think we've seen the agenda, the attendees, the community. Can we see the rest of the functionality?
Sure. So you want to know more about the attendees and also the agenda? Have you please show the agenda again? Yes.
No, I think we've seen the agenda, the attendees and community. I would like to see the rest, the sponsors and messages and leaderboard.
So we have 25 sponsors in our event, and we have uploaded their logos. And later they will host their information.
Yeah, so I guess it would be nice there to have some kind of maybe a couple of paragraphs that they would like us to see.
Yeah.
Please show.
So
yeah.
the sponsor, yes, can show their information, can also have some videos, posters, and
Yes.
they can also to give the audience some small gift, some interaction.
Okay. And what are the leaderboard, session, Q&A, video gallery? So under resources.
About this about attendees. Where there's some leaderboard. Where have some Chinese?
Is that based on attendance, time, or something, or questions?
There are some rules to evaluate how active are the attendees, and they get more points for their attendees, like join some event and discuss with other people or social with other people. They will get points. So there is a rank here.
Okay. What is session Q&A?
You can see all the session QA in this page. You can click this title and
so this will show all the Q&A for each session.
But you can still access that from the agenda?
Yes, both here and the agenda.
Okay.
So this will show all the Q&A for each session. Yeah,
but you can still access that
here
from
and
the
the
agenda.
Yeah, this will show here and the agenda. So this will show all the here and the agenda.
It's looping in a very.
Yeah, please mute. Who do not speak.
So Guoliang, is the current agenda that is there, is it based on something from the spreadsheet that we put together?
Yeah, yes. So yeah, please show the agenda. Yeah, the program is the agenda is based on our discussion, but there's no details. So this is why we want to get the details as early as possible, so we can put all the detailed information on the HUA.
Okay, so we
So
have
yeah,
been
can you show?
we have
Yeah,
been putting
please.
together a program, an agenda, and it's almost final, but it's, you know, we're still just fine tuning it. So we can show you what the agenda is, and you know, and we have to sort of you know, sort of make sure that that particular agenda is reflected on the HUA site. So how do we make sure of that?
I think we can send it over by the maybe midweek, at most end of the week. It will definitely be ready, and then Golang and his team can put it up there, and then maybe we can also go back and check ourselves.
Okay. I mean, I just want to make sure that what is there right now on the agenda is just some initial draft, Guoliang, I guess.
Yes, only the initial draft because we have no the program currently.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what about the how do you think we can set up the office hours feature we were discussing? Like how can we set up the slots and mark them somehow on the agenda?
Yeah, please show how to they select their preferred agenda.
You can add a session to your agenda or to your calendar, and you can see your agenda here. You prefer
no, I think that part I think is great. I mean the part about the authors of a paper scheduling office hours for their paper.
Scheduling. You can create a message. You can send a message to others, and
you can see the profile. So here we'll show all the sessions involved by the audience. Yeah, you can see the view profile. Here is all the sessions the audience will be involved. For example, the speaker and the keynote.
Besides, I think what Stratos would like to talk about is, remember in our planned agenda, we have some part of the program that we have designed, right? But we also want to give each speaker, not the attendee, but each speaker, the flexibility to add a new office hours time block, right? Where that time block is decided by the speaker or the demo presenter so that they can interact with the attendees. They can answer questions live, or they can show the demo live. And that particular office hour block can have its own Zoom room or Zoom breakout room or something like that.
Now the session is created by the organizers.
No. It means you can see the leaderboard or which. So the speaker wants to organize a small meeting room and they can discuss. So device is this? Yeah, I think it's here. The speaker can add a topic or sort group, and they can invite other audience to join the group, and they can discuss. I'm not sure whether they can embed a Zoom link.
So this creates, I guess, a chat room, right?
Yeah.
Yes, you can create a topic and create a meeting room, or for example, Zoom with others.
Okay, so what we would like to have is that, and maybe we can use that functionality to do this, so that people can say, I'm presenting that paper on that session. Here is a Zoom link, but at 5 p.m. Beijing time until 7 p.m. Beijing time on Tuesday, I will be there answering questions. And then that information is visible on the agenda on that session for every paper. So then participants can go, they can click on there and they can join, they can see the time and the link, and they can join then for this paper. So maybe
you can add this information in the profile.
I think this is hard because then for every paper you have to go to the profile one of the authors?
I think the speaker may not add the agenda, the session information. So yeah, can you go to the agenda and session? We need to put the information there. You can click, for example, a session 1 or session 2. Yeah, here. So yeah, you want to add, for example, speaker can add some links here, and the audience can join the link to discuss.
Yeah.
So is this possible?
Yes, it is possible.
So can speaker add this information?
The speaker cannot edit this page.
So is that only you can edit?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think if the speaker add a topic in the community and post some information, and then we can add such information here.
Yeah.
Besides, we have volunteers for each of the speaker. We can contact with them if they have willings to like have a TA hours. We can upload their information here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think we can add placeholders there. For example, office hours, date, time slot, and link, and then we can do that for every paper and then populate that. We can probably then even ask the authors 1 week before the conference to give us that information, so that we can do some of that before the conference starts, and then the rest can also happen through the volunteers on the fly.
Yeah, it's possible. But the question, so the speaker provides the Zoom link, or we provide the Zoom link, Zoom account?
I'm assuming that the speaker will have to provide the Zoom link, otherwise it's too complicated.
Yeah, yes. Then I agree. So we can contact speaker, and if they want to provide Zoom link and the time slots, we can post such information in this session.
Yeah.
It's okay. Yeah.
One question, Guolian,
yeah,
or maybe Hanyu, is when when an attendee joins Hova, right? They can use either the Hova app or Zoom, right? Directly, if they don't have a Hova app.
Yes.
Yeah.
So everything that you see here, right, is something they can join in either way. But let's say you have a speaker providing an office hours and providing a Zoom link. That will just have to be accessed directly using Zoom, right? Not via the Hova app, or can you do both?
Yeah, you can directly access by Zoom, not must using Hova. Yes.
So using Hova, what is the advantage that an attendee sees?
So I think that the attendees very easily to get the information. Just click this video and then can join.
I see. So let me understand this, right? So if an attendee joins using the Hova app, they see all this information in the Hova app directly.
Yes, one platform.
Otherwise, they would have to go to the website.
Yes.
To be able to see the agenda and everything, right? And at that point, they might as well join using a Zoom link.
Yes.
Okay. So what we're seeing here is the website version, right?
Correct. We're not seeing the Hova app version right now, right?
So who will share the Hova app?
Maybe we can share about the Zoom first. We will prepare for the iPhone app of Hua later.
Let me share my screen. I have Hua. Let me.
Okay, thanks, Professor. Li Xi, please give the authority to Professor Li. Okay.
So can you say?
Yep.
Can you say my screen? Can you say the Hua?
Yep.
Yes, we can.
Okay. So this is the main page of the app, and then here is the agenda. So for example, you can join the Hua. You can join the. This is the meeting room for Zoom, and here is the speaker. For example, who will give the presentation in this session, and we can also have some Q&A. So there, the speaker can also upload the paper and the slides. So this is the Hua app. You can also select some agenda to your agenda. So for example, at this session, and there's some reminder. So let me change my iPhone to English. Sorry, let me change to English.
It's going to be slightly better.
Yeah, yes. Where's the...
The rest, do you know how to read Chinese, Mandarin?
Here?
Not yet.
Here. Yeah.
Golyang, Hova has an app also for the desktop or only for phone? So I'm trying to think, do we expect most people to access through the website or through an app?
Both mobile app and website. Okay.
Yeah, but I'm asking, is there an app for the desktop, or through a laptop you would have to use the website?
Only
No,
for
you
website.
can.
Not a desktop app.
Okay. So this means that in practice we expect most people to access by website, most likely.
Yes, I think
Can I share my
more
screen?
convenient. Sure.
Here it says desktop also and laptop.
Yeah, this is on the Hua website, on the hua.com website. So it seems, Golyang and Hanyue and others, that Hua allows people to have a web app, on a laptop or a tablet, laptop, desktop. It does not have to be only on the iPhone or Android.
Yes, web PC has all the things you want to do.
So we can try that as well, Strato.
Yes, we can.
I'm trying to think if we can actually simplify and maybe have only the app.
Well, not everybody might want to download our app or even have the ability to download an external app on their laptop if it happens to be, for instance, company controlled.
Okay, correct. Okay.
Sorry, so after I change my language, it stop all the app. So can you say my sharing?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
In English.
Yeah. Sorry. So here, for example, I'm interested in this session. You can add, and for example, there's some reminder. For example, reminder 10 minutes before. Then I can show my preferred agenda. So for example, I can add more. So here are some sessions. Here are some parallel sessions. And here is a keynote, and we can join the live stream video. So later we will show you how to run the conference. We will have a session, for example, I'm the session chair and there's some volunteer, and we also will show a video, and my students also can answer some questions. And next we switch to next paper. So we'll show a demonstration for running a session.
Sure.
And here some
a question.
Yeah.
One question. You know, if somebody creates their own personal agenda by picking and selecting sessions,
yeah,
can they then share that personal agenda with other people, so that, let's say, some colleague, some friend can see what is your personal agenda, so they might be able to coordinate their agenda with yours?
I need to do a survey. I'm not sure whether I can share my agenda to others. I will do the survey for this.
Okay.
I mean, maybe it can even be on the profile if people choose to have it public.
Let me check.
By the way, you can see the web app link in the Zoom QA.
Can I share? Yeah. You can see, so for each attendee, so at the bottom there will the sponsor link. So for each session, there's some sponsor information. Yeah.
I guess that's a general capability in Hoover. We don't plan to have, you know, any sponsors for individual research sessions.
Yeah. I hear.
So Guoliang, we can look at that offline. It's just a question, because to me, one of the advantages of having essentially something that looks like a social media platform, right, is that, you know, of course you can have discussions about papers, right, with all the people who are interested in that paper. And of course, it's great that you can create your own private agenda, but it would be nice, and I don't know if Hoover has that capability, for you to say, you know, there are 2,000 people in the conference, right? If somebody is interested in seeing what is it that Stratos is going to attend, because maybe I want to follow the same program, right? If Stratos sort of has the ability to share, you know, their program either with an individual or with everybody, right? That might be sort of a nice feature.
Yes, yes.
Dear Professor, may I answer this question?
Go ahead, Wang Yang.
Sure. For your first question, there is no feature on Hoover for share your private agenda to others. But if some author want to share something, they have two choices. Firstly, they can like add some information in their profile. Second, they can also like after the session QA, they can have a topic in the community, and the topic in the community is just their paper title. Then some people who are interested in the topic or in the paper, they will see some information from the author. Besides, thirdly, the author can also contact us to upload their like Zoom link or some other like extra information to the session panel. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, so we have to make decisions at some point about, for instance, if we create a chat session, right? Should we create a chat session per curated session, per paper? Should we create, the ability for these office hours rooms to be a different chat session from the session? We have to think about all of these because we don't want to overwhelm somebody with too many possibilities.
Yeah, I think just one chat room per curated session is more than enough, and the office hours should be something separate.
Correct. I think that makes sense. So
Yes,
the office hours
maybe
effectively sort of creates, if you will, that you can create one chat session per paper where people can post their office hour timings, can post a Zoom link about it.
Oh, no,
right?
I think that the Zoom link and the office hour slot can be directly on the agenda just by the video link. So it's one more link that can be just in the agenda, and there shouldn't be. I don't think there should be any chat session. But then you click the Zoom link at the time, and you get in and you talk with the author directly. I think I think we could keep any discussion about the paper in the session room, because then more people can actually join in and talk, and then it's simpler also.
Correct. But I think, I think all of this is great, but right now it seems like, if, as an example, I don't know if this is there, right? Is there a way for me, if I were to add, let's say, this private office hours room, right? For me to know what are all the office hour rooms? Can I have a schedule, an agenda for all the office hours that have been created, right? Because let's say I'm free right now. I want to chat with some bunch of people, right? Do I have to go to each possible paper and see at that point, what is their office hour timing? Or can I have an agenda for office hours, right? I can look to see if people have office hours right now, in which case, for instance, a very simple reason, Strato, is I might want to just look at the office hours of all the demo sessions.
Yeah. So
right?
I think that makes perfect sense. And maybe a simple solution is that because that would have to be manually populated. So as we collect that information from the authors about the time slot and the link, immediately the team can put that on a calendar, let's say a Google Calendar, and just say, this is the paper, this is the time slot, it's a demo paper or research paper. And then that's a single calendar that is populated with everything. So then as a participant, you can see that calendar and you will get to see everything. And you can choose whatever you want. And if you have just 2 or 3 useful tags, demo, data science, maybe industry and tutorial, and just a type of track, I think it's great for filtering, basic filtering at least. But that would be really great, because otherwise it's going to be chaotic.
Correct. I mean, ideally, I would like all of that functionality to be something that can be accessed via Hoover instead of going to multiple places, multiple platforms, right? We have an agenda link in Hoover. Right now, that agenda link shows us what are all the curated sessions, what are and so on, right? Nothing in principle prevents us from automatically or manually creating sessions corresponding to office hours, right? It just needs to be labeled somehow differently.
I see. Yeah.
I agree with you, Professor, but I think the best choice for the office hours to be gathered together should be for each session. In the session page, Professor Lee, could you please open a session? Yes. Like the session 1. This is the session 2. There is no details.
So I think, Young, I think Dives is saying that in addition to that, so we should definitely have that in every session. that information in every session for every paper. But in addition to that,
Yes.
if you think about a participant saying, "Oh, I have a couple of hours now. I would love to go and see, who is holding office hours." If you start by that, then if you don't have a way of all office hours organized in an agenda, then you really have to go and scan every single session until you find something that happens to have office hours right now. So the agenda would be extremely useful for people to make great use of the office hours by depending on their free time and not depending on a specific paper. So I think
maybe.
I think the idea is that
Sorry.
we would have to create another agenda, an agenda for office hours, where it is exactly the same style as the existing agenda, but it only contains the papers organized by office hours.
Okay, but in that way, since the papers are not grouped in sessions, maybe it's a little hard for the audience to choose to filter by topics what they want to join. The office hours.
It's okay, because if they're going to filter by topic, they would go to the original agenda, and then they will have the topics. So this alternative agenda would be filtering by time, and that's it, right? So you're only organizing by time in this agenda.
So I think,
okay.
For example, here, you can say that here speaker, and you click. So I think we can add the office hour.
You're not sharing your screen right now.
Is it okay now?
Yes.
So here is session. So here session we have some online live stream, and here's some information and speaker. And for each speaker, we can also hear some information. We can add the office hour here. So you can see all the activity that involves by this speaker. I think we can, for example, here's some session, here's some office hour. So if you are interested in the office hour or a person, you can click his profile. And if you want to know the office hour of this session, the paper in this session, you can browse the information here.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. But it doesn't cover the timing issue. So I think that's great to search by person, by topic, I guess. Yeah, by topic.
Yes.
But it doesn't cover it doesn't cover the search by time.
Yeah, dear Professor Stratos, we have a solution. We can collect all the office hours, and we can set up a agenda on the main page of SIGMOD, and we can add the link of the agenda by timeline in the main page of Hua. So each
so you
audience
mean
can...
you add another track? You add another track, the office hour track, and the
exactly. So right now, if you think of it, what is happening is, if you look at the agenda is already has these parallel sessions, right? Including, let's say a pods track, right? A tutorial track, and all the curated parallel sessions in there, right? Within the same block, it should be possible to have a link, right? Which just says, in this time block, what are all the office hours that have been scheduled?
Okay.
Right, that should be relatively easy. So if somebody says, I want to look at this time block because I'm free right now, let me see what are all the office hours. There should be something which says, here are all the office hours, at this time, within this time range. And if I were to go and click on any of the Zoom links provided by the author, right, I should be able to join that and have, an interactive demo, the ability to communicate directly with the author on the Zoom link provided, I think that would solve the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So question, Dinesh. So who will want to collect such information? So the professors and only the registered professors?
Or any participant.
I think we should, at the very least, be able to do that for everybody who is an author of a paper.
Who
right?
uses it. Okay. Yeah.
For office hours, right? In a sense, if somebody shows up at SIGMOD and is just sort of an ordinary attendee, doesn't have any paper, right? Or doesn't have a demo paper, doesn't have a tutorial, doesn't have a panel, right? Then there is no reason for SIGMOD to directly support any office hours for them. Right? But
so
if
only
you
the
think of
registered people, yeah.
Say that again, Golia.
So I think there's a lot of work to collect the information, I think.
So we can think of how we want to do it, right? I mean, I think the main purpose that we have is that every single paper, right, and tutorial and panel can have, in addition to their presentation slot, can have an office hours slot. Right? It doesn't have to necessarily be a person. It can be something which says this paper has an office hours slot. Does it make sense?
This is good. Yeah, this is good because there's lots of people. If we add for all of the audience, I think there's lots of people.
No. This is only for papers.
So what we can do exactly is this, right? For every paper, right? Just like what you do right now is, if you look at the actual agenda, right? With every paper in a curated session, you will have a link which says, here is a link and a time for the office hours slot for that paper.
Okay.
Right? And all we are doing is, if you think of it in a database way, we're just doing a different group by. Right? Now that you have this data, which says this particular paper will have an office hour at this time slot, and here is a Zoom link. Right? Think of that relational table. All you do is a group by the time, collect everything in that time block, and put together that particular thing as a separate link. Right? And then people can see, click on that link, and they can see what are all the papers that will have office hours during that curated session block. That's all we need. Right? And they can have an office hours during a break time. They can have an office hours anytime. It's up to them to, for each paper to decide when they want their office hours.
Okay.
But we cannot trust people to write SQL queries, so we have to do it for themselves.
Yes. I think that this is possible. Yeah.
I mean, if Hoover has a relational database and their backend and their website can be generated from the database, it should be easy.
Only Excel, no database, I think.
Sure. So just keep it in mind. I mean, I think, it should be possible, but there may need to be some effort, right? The biggest concern I have there is we have to collect this information in some way, because right now for the actual sessions and the papers, right, we can provide that information because we are designing the entire program. But for office hours, right, we want to give the flexibility to the people who are the authors of that paper to pick a time slot, and we can decide what is the time slot block. Is it 30 minutes? Is it 1 hour? Whatever. Right? And we can just advertise it. That's the only purpose that we have there. Is that right,
Yeah.
Sato?
Yeah.
I have one question. So can the office hour can be in parallel? Or
Office hours can be anywhere, anytime.
okay,
It's
so
up to
they can be
the
in
speaker.
parallel.
Yes.
Okay, okay.
Because we have no other times, right? It can be somebody can say this during this particular time block, I am not interested in attending any other session, but I just want to have an office hours. It is like, suppose you go to a real conference, right? In-person conference.
Yeah.
Then there are time blocks where there are papers that are being presented, but there is a discussion that is happening in the hallway, right? Or there is a discussion that is happening outside the presentation rooms, right?
Gotcha.
And these office hours idea is to basically simulate that experience, right? To give people the ability to sort of have interactive discussions outside the curated sessions that we as the program organizers have created.
Okay, we will find out how to do it in the best
Very
way.
good. Very good. Any other thoughts, Trato?
No, I made also some really minor remarks, which I'll send. Just some small edits I'll send to Golian later on, but it's only minor. I think the big thing is to see if we can make the office hours work smoothly. I think during our SIGMOD planning meetings, there were several people that commented that this would be a really great feature to have. And I think if we can make it very easy for people to access office hours, which requires, I think, all these three-way search of the same data by people, by time, by topic. I think it would be a big improvement for the experience.
And we will try it out. So one other question, I think at the beginning of today's presentation, you mentioned that you had already created Whova accounts for Stratos and for me.
Yes.
Do we have to have any passwords for that account, or are they just based on our email addresses and then we can just recover password from Whova?
I actually tried already to do that and it said it doesn't find my account.
Yeah, you can
You
find
need
the
to use your email address to register a user.
Oh, so you will add us. We're not there already?
I guess we have
Yeah.
to register ourselves, maybe?
Yes.
Okay.
You register, use your email address, then you can join Whova and you can see the event of SIGMOD.
Okay, perfect.
For other user, even if you register, if we do not put your email address into our conference, you can also can't see the conference.
So what do we have that allows us to see the SIGMOD? Is it because we are registered already for SIGMOD? Is there an email address match that goes on between Whova's account and the email we use to register for SIGMOD?
Sorry?
for now we use the email from SIGMOD registration, and they don't have to register for Whova. But after registration, they will see our events if we have uploaded their emails from SIGMOD registration.
Okay. Okay. So there is that mechanism for doing the authentication to make sure that only people who are registered for SIGMOD will be able to see the SIGMOD program.
Yes. We use the SIGMOD register email. This is the ID. So.
Okay, so that is something I guess we'll need to sort of instruct the authors, right? Because right now on the registration page, when somebody registers for SIGMOD, they don't know yet that they have to register for Whova also.
Yeah, we will send out an email later because we also need to have some instructions, documents, videos, and then I think this week we will draft an email, and you can send out the email to all the authors.
We'll do that. We'll do that.
Yeah.
And by the way, Guoliang, I also need to sort of put together the list of all the people, our keynote speakers and panelists for whom we will need to have free registrations. I will sort of upload that information and send it to Jifeng and you.
Okay, thank you.
No, that looks good. I think, Hua has many of the capabilities that should help run a smooth program.
Yeah. So by the way, so when can we get all the details of the program? Then we can put the information on Hua.
So let me show you where we are right now. I will show you what we have, and you have access to this website, Guoliang. Okay,
Yes.
I'll show you what we have done so far, right? And it is a little bit cryptic, but hopefully we understand it, and we'll try to make it simpler. So here is the program page, right, which has all the timings, right? If you look at any of the curated sessions, like for instance, this brown session and this brown session have the same content, right? If you look at the cell value, it has information right now which says in this particular block of curated sessions, we are going to have 3 curated sessions of 2 hours each, right? And we tell you what are the 3 curated sessions. Okay, and then we tell you what is the panel. And we tell you what is the tutorial.
Okay.
Okay. In this
Okay.
one, for instance, you can see there are 3 parallel sessions of 3 hours each. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3, and this is the tutorial.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I ask a
Now,
question?
to understand what are these sessions, you go to the curators tab. Okay, and we have created a total of 17 curated sessions. These are the names of the curated sessions. Okay, and some approximation of that, Guoliang. We have to use all the string matching approximation algorithms that you and I have developed in 20 years ago. Okay, to match this topic here with what is given here. So as an example, if I look at this 4 parallel curated sessions, there is a session on query processing plus optimization here, right? And the semicolons separate the sessions. There is a session on security plus privacy plus fairness. So if you go to the curators tab, right, this is the session on security, fairness, and privacy. This is the session on query processing and optimization. Okay. It tells you for each session curated, for each thing, who are the curators. Okay, how many papers have been selected for that session, and what is the session length? So we have, out of these 17 sessions that we have created, I'll tell you why 17 in a moment, right? 6 of them are for 2 hours each. Okay, and these are the ones that are highlighted in blue, and 11 of them are for 3 hours each. Okay, and we created 17 because in the program, we have space for 18 sessions, right? 3 here, 3 here, right? 6 a day, so 3 days is 18. But in one of these parallel sessions, we are going to use 1 curated session for the new researcher symposium. Okay, so that makes it 18. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, so these are the curators for the sessions, and these are the topics. And it'll tell you how many papers are there in that session. So let's take an example of this one. Wolfgang Lehner, Ken Salem, Distributed Cloud, 18 papers for 3 hours. Okay. To understand what are the papers in these sessions, you have to look in these 3 tabs to see which are the research papers, industry papers, and demonstration papers that have been selected for that session. And again, all the keys are based on approximate matching right now. We have not standardized it.
Okay.
So right now, for instance, if you want to see what is something that is organized for the distributed plus cloud session, right? This is the key that is used here, Wolfgang and Ken.
Okay.
Because these are the names of the curators of that session.
Okay, I see.
Okay, different people. So all of this has been done in a completely decentralized way. Every curator had the flexibility to decide what key they wanted to use. Okay.
Okay.
If you like,
Okay.
we will completely normalize it so it makes your job easier. But for these 18 papers in the research track, there are 6 papers. This one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And in the industry track, right, in the same session, same thing, same key, fortunately, Wolfgang and Ken, right, there are a total of 12 papers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So these are the 18 papers, 6 research, 12 industry that will be presented as part of this session on distributed and cloud, right? And the distributed and cloud session will be presented twice. And for that, you can understand that from the program. So this is the distributed plus cloud, and this one has distributed plus cloud. Okay, now the reason we have 6 sessions which are 2 hours long is because for 2 of these curated sessions, this one, and so let's say this one and this one, right? We're going to have a 2-hour session, 3 of them in parallel, followed by a plenary panel, right? Remember, there are 2 panels in SIGMOD. So this panel will be held here. Okay, and this timing for this panel was chosen to be as convenient as possible across all time zones, right? 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 Eastern is 8:30 in the morning for Pacific time, all the way up to 11:30 at night for Beijing time. Similarly, there is going to be, in this panel session on Thursday, there is going to be another panel, right? And because of that, for these 2 sessions and the corresponding sessions above, right, 12 hours before, the curated sessions are only 2 hours long, but there is still a tutorial in parallel. So the tutorial information is given here. Okay, there are 2 kinds of tutorials we have. So Golyang, you have a tutorial, which is a 3-hour long tutorial, right? So we have scheduled the tutorials, right? I think your tutorial is this one.
Okay.
Okay, so we have scheduled 3-hour long tutorials, right, in parallel with these sessions. And we have a total of 3 tutorials of 3 hours each. So 1 here, 1 here, and 1 here. The remaining tutorials are of 1.5 hours each. And we have scheduled them in a way such that the 2 tutorials of 1.5 hours each, right, are on the same topic. So for instance, this particular session, right, will have a tutorial. On deep learning, right, which is Stratos' tutorial, and another tutorial on deep learning approaches for text to SQL systems. Similarly, there is a tutorials here, and there are 2 tutorials also of 1.5 hours each, both related to graphs. Okay, and what we have made sure of is that the 4 items on any given curated session do not conflict with each other. So the people who are interested in attending, right, will have one clear thing that may match their interest. So as an example, this session has a 2-hour session on systems and ML, one on NLP, one on data curation, and a tutorial on graph match, different kinds of graph tutorials.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. Good. So we will add this information on Hua.
So just wait for another 3 or 4 days, right? Because what we are going to do is to first broadcast this information to all the curators to let them know what is the program that we had set up, right? And we think that they should be more or less finalized, but we will be making some small tweaks over the next few days. So by next weekend, we should be done.
Yep.
Okay, good, good.
So any questions for our complex scheme?
I have one small question.
Go ahead.
Professor Lee, you first.
Guoliang, do you have a question?
Yes. So did you notify the authors they must attend twice to answer the questions?
No, so what we're going to do is that we cannot insist that they attend twice, right? But because it's 12 hours apart, we will notify them that they are required to attend at least once, right? And if they can attend twice, that would be great, right? And one of the pieces of information we will collect from each author is, can they attend both sessions, or which of the 2 sessions?
But for example, if there, for example, for a session, the audience may not know whether the authors are here, so they ask some questions on how to process this.
So that's the information that we will also maintain with the agenda, right? For every particular curated session, for which paper is an author available to answer questions live.
Okay. We need to specify, on Hua and the website. Okay.
Correct. It's best on the Hua and the website, right? In the particular curated session, we can say for this particular paper, there is an author present. Because for the next one, 12 hours later, it might be a different author who is present.
Select the author. Okay, I see. So another question, so for example, in this session, there's 6 papers. So we play the videos for the six papers and then answer question, or for each paper, play the video, answer questions?
No, so our current plan is we present videos for all the 6 papers.
Okay, nice.
5 minutes each, so that's 30 minutes. And then we answer questions. And the advantage of that is exactly, Guoliang, that if there are some papers for which an author is not present in that session, right? We know about it, but it doesn't create an unnecessary gap.
Okay. Okay, I see. So the curated chairs will attend the session twice? So
often, it depends on how the curators work, but we are encouraging curators to have curators and co-curators. So maybe there are 2 people who are working together, and so that at least one of the curators can attend each of the sessions.
Okay.
Right, and it is good for that purpose that if they are in different time zones. So in this example, the 2 curators are Wolfgang, who is in Europe, and Ken Salem, who is in North America. For this one, there is one curator who is in India and one curator who is in Australia, right? And we will work with the curators so that they pick co-curators from different time zones, or in a way such that at least one of the curators can attend each version, can attend each instance of the curated session.
Okay, but there's only one curator. Some sessions.
This is the initial thing, so we have to reach out to the curators, tell them about exactly what we are doing so that they can pick somebody else in addition.
Okay, that's good. Okay.
Okay, I have some other questions. Firstly, Professor Lee asked some of my questions, and I want to extend the question. So, if the author is not like, for example, the author does not attend the first round of his presentation, so we can skip the video since no one will answer the question.
No, because I think we
right?
want to present it in that block, right? The entire paper, the entire session, right, includes both presentations and question answers and discussions. Right?
So the first 30 minutes in every session will be presenting the 6 papers of the session in one shot. And then we go into question and answering, and then only, of course, the authors who are present will be able to answer questions.
Correct.
But the first 30 minutes is always the same. We play all videos, regardless if it is the first or the second time, or if the authors are there or not.
So you mean that we will like play 6 videos first and then to QA?
Correct. And each video will be 5 minutes.
Yeah, 5 minutes.
So the first 30 minutes of every hour is a video presentation, and the last 30 minutes is interactive discussions and quick Q&A.
Okay, so maybe I think it will be better if we have one video, one QA, one video, one QA. If you are interested in the first video, but you have to wait for another 25 minutes. And
so this is normally
this is by design. So this is not an accident, right? The reason is that unlike, let's say a traditional session where there are how many ever papers and it's different papers, we are deliberately creating these curated sessions of 3 hours or 2 hours, right? With the idea that it's on a single topic, right? And that people, when they attend that session on that single topic, it is like attending a single track workshop on that topic.
Okay, got you.
So the idea is that people don't switch from curated session to curated session on a per paper basis, but they attend the entire thing and then move to a different curated session.
Okay. So it sacrifices the for the it is better for the audience, but the authors will be blocked to answer their questions.
I mean, the authors have to attend the whole session anyway.
Okay,
right? We don't want a situation where an author only joins for 10 minutes.
Yeah, anyway, we have thought through this with many people, and because also the Q&A is only 3 minutes, and we will have a lot of situations where the authors will skip because they cannot attend. In general, we're going to have this concentrated 20-minute block of Q&A in the end, and then the time will be distributed to the authors that are present. And plus also the idea is that this works more like a panel, so that because the topics are related, people can also ask more generic questions, and not even for the specific papers, but in general for the area as well. So this works like a panel and not only a typical Q&A as well. So this is all, either way, this is all by design, in that we're going to have it always 30 minutes of video, all the videos, 20 minutes of Q&A.
So the 20 minutes for QA is in parallel or one by one? Like
in
ask
parallel.
this author?
In parallel. So exactly, people can ask any question for any paper.
Okay, got you.
And while we don't prevent it, anybody can ask a question for any paper, and anybody can answer that question.
Yeah, I support your.
So I answer the question of another paper.
Well, as an example, right? Maybe there is one speaker author from that paper that is presenting, but some other author is present, they can answer it, right? But if the question is about some related work, right, then if an author from that related work is present, they can answer it.
Yep.
Okay, it's like a panel, right? It's like a discussion. It's not about just each paper and Q&A for that paper, which we think is, only part of it, right? The interaction that gets generated because of this way of doing things, right, will hopefully lead to more interesting conference experience.
I think in this way, it's more like a discussion. So what's the function of the curator here? I think we don't need much help from the curator and the volunteer in
You'll
each
see
session.
that. You'll see that when we come to the actual presentation, right? So the curators have already put together the papers in a certain order, right? They will be introducing things, right? There will be a lot of roles for the curators, both before and during the curated sessions.
Okay. So
I
how
think
about
the curator need to decide who can ask question. Otherwise, there may be many people asking questions together. So it will be very messy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
okay? How about us to simulate with two presenters now to find some details?
I didn't understand.
Sorry. Maybe we
to run a
can like
simulation.
Yeah, we'll do that. We can do a simulation at some point.
Yeah.
Right. And see how this would work out for a sample session.
Yes.
Okay. We have two presenters. So let's begin. Is Li Xiang online?
Yeah, we are online.
Okay, let's move on.
Okay, so this was just a preview, Guoliang, of what we have done, right? We will share with you, sort of all this information as soon as it is finalized, and that will happen over the next 1 week.
Okay, I see.
Okay, so then we can send you a quick summary of some of the things that we've noticed and we discussed, and maybe next Sunday again we can do that simulation and we can discuss more about some of the details that maybe they're not clear by then. Does that sound okay?
Okay, thank you. So I remember I have a question. So for you, so for the video, I checked the copyright for the paper authors. So in the copyright, it stated that the video can be released. So do I need to assign another copyright about videos with the authors?
No. I think what we have done is working with ACM and the authors, we have made sure that every author has given the rights, the audio video rights to release their video. So you can use that to play the video, and we can use that right later on to put the videos in the ACM digital library as well.
Okay, so I can use the videos. Okay,
you can use the videos.
No problem. Good. Okay, good. So another question. So in these curated sessions, do we include some, for example, student competition, new research, and programming competition?
So that will be done separately. So the new researcher symposium will be run as a curated session. Okay, which is why we have only 17, because the new researcher symposium is the 18th curated session.
Yeah.
Okay. For the student research competitions, it will be held separately, because we have talked with the organizers of the student research competition, and they have fixed some times for their session, and it will be run like office hours.
Yeah.
Okay. And for the programming competition, there is nothing that is going to be done live, because all the programming competition has been done before the conference started. The winners have been decided, right? And all we need to do is advertise the winners and recognize them during the SIGMOD business lunch. That's all.
Okay, good. Okay, So during the opening, so you know that because the business lunch is late, so we want to have opening on Tuesday. So do you want to introduce some program information to the audience?
Correct. So one of the things we
Yeah.
want to do is really, in the first 30 minutes, right, that we have before the keynote, let's say, Guoliang, you will use 15 minutes for introducing anything about as a general chair. Right?
Yeah, okay.
And we will use 15 minutes to basically tell people about the whole idea of curated sessions and how they work.
Okay, good.
Okay, and how the whole program is organized so that people who attend that already have a good idea, but we will provide that information also to be put on the SIGMOD website or the Whova website so that people understand what's happening.
Okay,
but all the details, how many papers were submitted, how many papers were accepted, what is the distribution of regions, all of that will only be presented at the SIGMOD business lunch. There is no reason to present that information at the beginning of the conference.
Okay, good. Okay, no problem. Yeah. So for the talks, I think the keynotes online talks or some videos. Panel, I think, is online talking, and panels.
Guoliang, you're frozen.
And the new researchers.
So for the two keynotes that we have right now, Guoliang, both of them will prepare pre-recorded videos.
Okay. Okay.
Right. And the time that we have selected for both presentations, both instances of the presentation, they will be present live for Q&A for both versions.
Okay. Okay. How I think only panels have no videos, yes?
Panels have no videos right now, and panels will be played only once, but there will be office hours exactly like for paper presentations. Each panel will be given an opportunity to have a separate office hours if people want to have follow-up discussion with them.
Okay. Good. I have no more questions. So you are ready to demonstrate the Hua and the do a rehearsal.
So we do the
opinion rehearsal next time.
Yeah, rehearsal will be next Sunday.
Okay.
Or next week. No. Next Sunday my time, next Monday your time.
Okay, no problem.
Good.
Good.
Strato, do you have any questions for?
No, thank you very much. Thank you very much for all the work. I think this is shaping really nice. Yeah.
Okay.
Very good. Thank you, everyone.
Good.
And Strato will talk in a few minutes.
Yeah.
Bye. Have a good night.
Bye. Bye.